Putin threatens more deadly attacks on Ukraine.
And in sports, several Ohio University athletes earned MAC honors. Newswatch starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Joe Collins.
And I'm Victoria Niemsch. Welcome to Newswatch, your source for news impacting southeastern Ohio. J.D. Vance and Representative Tim Ryan gearing up for tonight's first Senate debate.
They both are running for Senator Rob Portman's seat, who announced he will be retiring from his position. This race could help flip the Senate either way since the current Senate makeup is 50-50. A recent poll by 538 shows Ryan and Vance neck and neck for the seat. The debate will be televised on NBC4 starting at 7 p.m. And for a recap of the debate, be sure to join us tomorrow. We will be live tweeting this event, so to get the latest updates, follow us on Twitter at Newswatch_WOUB. J.D. Vance and Tim Ryan's debate tonight falls one day before the voter registration deadline in Ohio. Tomorrow is the last day to register to vote in the fall midterms. If you are not already registered to vote, you can go to the Ohio Secretary of State website and register online, or go to your local Board of Elections office. In-person early voting and mail-in voting begins Wednesday and will be available to registered voters till Election Day on November 8th.
Ohio's election chief is forming a public integrity division with the goal of creating a more efficient process to investigate election violations. Republican Secretary of State Frank LaRose says the new division will consolidate work his office is already doing. Democrats claim the new division is a political stunt by LaRose, and critics say the timing of the announcement is suspect with the November elections quickly approaching. Ohio's 6-week abortion ban has been put on hold indefinitely. After a hearing from doctors, abortion providers, and those who oppose abortion, the Hamilton County Common Pleas Court judge says the ban is unconstitutional. The 6-week ban in Ohio was put in place after the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. Now the ban on abortion after a fetal heartbeat is detected is on hold indefinitely. However, the state intends to appeal, where the issue will most likely end up in the Republican-majority Ohio Supreme Court. 3 of the 4 GOP justices replied to surveys for Cincinnati Right to Life, saying they believe life starts with fertilization.
And good afternoon, I'm your forecaster Erin Ashley, and across our region you've been seeing very cooler temperatures overnight, much like these really cool temperatures that hit that freezing point. 32 degrees is what we saw earlier this morning, but we quickly warmed up, and that's because we saw the skies really starting to open up, especially earlier today. See, as the clouds move from the west all the way to the east, got nothing but clear skies over us right now. We had a little bit of clouds this morning, but those were quick to clear out, as that high pressure began to enter our region. Right now we're looking at a temperature of 71 degrees, a little bit warmer. That's because of that cloud, those clouds that opened up earlier, and that sun really coming through and warming us up. We are seeing a little bit of haze in combination with that, so make sure you plan accordingly. And as we head throughout the night tonight, expect those conditions to remain very clear as that high pressure continues to dominate over our region. Temperatures are going to get pretty low. 41 degrees tonight is the expected overnight low. And I'll talk about my full forecast, what we can expect over the next couple of days, and when you might see the next chance for rain later on this week. But for now, back to you, Joe.
Thank you, Erin. The United Food and Commercial Workers International Union and Kroger agreed on a new 3-year contract on Thursday. The new contract featured various pay raises and a 3-step wage progression system. Clerks who are making designated amounts are set to have a $1 pay increase on the first Sunday after contract ratification. There will also be pay increases of 50 cents and 65 cents in 2024 and 25. The two sides have been at odds since early September, when union members rejected a 3-year contract and voted to authorize a strike notice. In the late September, the union shared a second proposed contract with its members following failed negotiations earlier in the month. A railroad bridge running over Zanesville's Linden Avenue that is causing problems for large vehicles is set to have a secondary warning system. The Ohio DOT has installed an elaborate warning system in addition to dozens of warning signs already in place. Sensors will be mounted on poles, which will trigger warning lights when a vehicle is too tall. The height of the bridge is 9 feet 7 inches and has damaged many vehicles. Since 2020, the bridge has been hit about 126 times. The total cost of technology is around $85,000.
The 20th Storybook Trail at Salt Fork State Park opened last week thanks to a partnership between Dolly Parton's Imagination Library of Ohio, Ohio First Lady Fran DeWine, and Ohio's Department of Natural Resources Director Mary Mertz. There are 20 half-mile trails located at state parks in Ohio, each one including child height panels with pages of a children's book and an activity to match the text on the page. According to a press release from Governor Mike DeWine's office, a donation from the Guernsey County Library through the Ohio State's Park Foundation made the Salt Fork Storybook Trail possible. There are more than 355,000 children enrolled in Dolly Parton's Imagination Library of Ohio, which provides one free book each month to enroll children from as young as birth to age 5. September's jobs report showed solid growth, while some worry the economy is still entering a recession. Plus, what websites Russian hackers attacked. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
Predictive policing.
It's artificial intelligence.
You look at past crimes to predict the future.
And the future is now.
What will a human being do tomorrow or the next day?
Hey, give me all your money, man.
Can the predictions be trusted?
The algorithm only knows what it's been fed.
Who's accountable when systems harm the communities that they're designed to serve?
Computers versus crime on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
2, 1, start.
TM Landry Prep in rural Louisiana went viral for sending its graduates to the Ivy League. But when the facade crumbles,
all that I care about is winning.
How will its students navigate the myth of meritocracy?
We work our asses off. It's like boot camp.
Accepted on POV.
Monday at 10 on WOUB.
On American Experience.
Jeans are the quintessential American garment.
They are universal and individual at the same time. But it's always the same story.
It's about the cowboys in the West. It's about Levi Strauss and the gold rush.
And yet so much of the story we tell about jeans is a myth.
Riveted, the history of jeans on American Experience.
Saturday at 9 on WOUB.
We just went back to Africa.
On Finding Your Roots, musician Pharrell Williams.
I have to say I'm forever changed.
And actor-director Casey Lemons.
I feel very proud of my American heritage.
Slavery's impact.
Turn the page.
Impacts its descendants.
It's messing with everything that I represent.
Plus a DNA match.
Ready to meet your cousin?
Yes.
Finding Your Roots.
Tuesday at 8 on WOUB.
Solid growth and an unemployment dip. While the numbers are positive, some worry the economy is headed in the wrong direction as inflation remains high. Jen Sullivan breaks down the latest report and what analysts are saying about the future of the economy.
The month of September closed out with positive job growth, the economy adding 263,000 jobs, and unemployment dropping to 3.5%.
This is the progress we need to see.
President Joe Biden praising the report. But it comes as the cost of everything, from food to rent, is much higher compared to this time last year.
The thing that's hurting people, of course, is inflation.
To try to slow inflation, the Federal Reserve has been raising interest rates to make borrowing more expensive. One economist says Friday's data shows that plan could be working.
This has been a key goal of the Federal Reserve. They worried that the economy was running too hot. They wanted a so-called soft landing. Well, if you wanted to tell the first chapter of that soft landing story, it would be pretty much the set of numbers we saw.
But a recent survey asked 400 CEOs of large U.S. companies about the economic outlook. 91% predict a recession in the next 12 months. Here's the other concern. Wages aren't rising nearly as high as inflation, so employees are asking for more money so they can afford goods. But increasing wages is something the Federal Reserve wants to slow down, fearing that would pump more money into the economy and make inflation worse. But the Biden administration wants to see those wages rise.
My job is to try and get as many people into work as possible, get them into better paying jobs, into middle-class jobs, and continue to hopefully work with businesses and labor to increase wages over time and benefits.
I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
The reason inflation is so high in the U.S. is the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. However, other experts are saying the U.S. could be on the verge of losing tens of thousands of jobs. The Federal Reserve's aggressive inflation-reducing policies could also slow the job market. It could start losing 170,000 jobs of next year.
More than a dozen U.S. airport websites were temporarily knocked offline Monday morning, and Russian-speaking hackers are claiming responsibility. The hacking affected 14
Massive explosions rocking power lines in Dnipro, Ukraine, sending debris raining down on top of drivers frozen in their tracks. In Zaporizhia, flames raged from the rubble of an apartment building, reduced to ruins after strikes from Russian rockets. And unsettling images reveal children's playground equipment among smoldering, scorched earth. These are just a few of the lethal attacks unleashed across Ukraine by Russian forces targeting power plants, bridges, and other infrastructure, the heaviest since Russia began its invasion of Ukraine.
They're trying to spread chaos and panic. They want to annihilate our energy supplies. They're hopeless. Their second target is our people. They specifically selected this time in order to hit us the hardest.
Russia says the attacks are in response to the bombing of the Kerch Bridge linking Russia and Crimea on Saturday. Kyiv has not claimed responsibility for that blast.
All assigned targets are hit.
A senior Biden administration official says the White House is closely monitoring the attacks and finds them troubling.
We're in touch almost daily with the Ukrainians, and we're going to continue to provide them security assistance.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is now set to address an emergency meeting with G7 nations on Tuesday, where he says he plans to, quote, tell about the terrorist attacks by the Russian Federation. How Ohioans are continuing to help in the aftermath of Hurricane Ian. That story is still ahead.
And there's not much happening outside right now. When will that change? I will tell you in my full forecast, but for now, make sure you check us out on social media on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter.
3, 2, 1, start.
TM Landry Prep in rural Louisiana went viral for sending its graduates to the Ivy League. But when the facade crumbles,
all that I care about is winning.
How will its students navigate the myth of meritocracy?
We work our asses off. It's like boot camp.
Accepted on POV.
Monday at 10 on WOUB.
We're losing ground.
On making Black America.
But at the same time, there is this explosion in Black institutional life.
The places.
Black women really were at the forefront in entrepreneurship.
And secret spaces.
Those queens were dressed to the nines.
That built Black life.
On the page, on the stage, we still make life swing.
Tuesday at 9 on WOUB.
On American Experience.
Jeans are the quintessential American garment.
They are universal and individual at the same time, but it's always the same story.
It's about the cowboys in the West. It's about Levi Strauss and the gold rush.
And yet so much of the story we tell about jeans is a myth.
Riveted, the history of jeans on American Experience.
Saturday at 9 on WOUB.
Predictive policing.
It's artificial intelligence.
You look at past crimes to predict the future.
And the future is now.
What will a human being do tomorrow or the next day?
Give me all your money, man.
Can the predictions be trusted?
The algorithm only knows what it's been fed.
Who's accountable when systems harm the communities that they're designed to serve?
Computers versus crime on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
Welcome back to Newswatch, and I really hope you've been enjoying this absolutely beautiful weather that we have going on right now. We saw a high of 68 degrees, sunny skies with high pressure sitting over us right now. We're looking at beautiful, beautiful, beautiful conditions right now, and it's set to last over the next couple of days. Those overnight lows are getting a little bit on the chilly side. Make sure you grab that jacket as you head out the door, but again, overall, not much happening above us here in Athens, and even if you expand a little bit to the entirety of the region, you can see, again, pretty clear skies overall. That's because of some high pressure that's just sitting over our region and will continue to sit over our region over the next couple of days. Expect that high pressure, to really clear up those skies. Keep them nice and clear, even overnight tonight. That temperature, again, is going to get pretty chilly tonight, but overall, we're looking at very nice conditions over the next couple of days. And like I said, that's because of these pockets of high pressure that's just hitting over the southeastern United States right now, and those conditions are really reflective of what's happening up here as well. Out here in the west, you can see that there's some chances for rain with a low pressure system that'll come later on this week, but tomorrow we're tracking again. Those temperatures are feeling a little bit warm. 71 degrees is the expected high for tomorrow. Mostly sunny skies. Might see a cloud or two heading into tomorrow, but the temperature, even the overnight temperature, is on a bit of the warmer side, 49 degrees. Overall, very, very, very nice outside. Again, heading out into tomorrow night. Warm conditions because of all that sun that's really coming throughout the day. It's going to keep us nice and warm even overnight. But again, tomorrow night, not much happening in our area. But if we look ahead to the weekend, you can start to see that really on Friday we have some clouds beginning to roll in. 59 degrees being the high. Saturday, it's going to creep up a little bit more, 64 degrees, and a chance for rain is appearing on Sunday, 30% chance of showers. But if we're talking in the near future, however, you can start to see, especially here out on Wednesday and on Thursday, 50% chance of showers, and that's coming with a low pressure system that is set to arrive later on Wednesday and stick around until later on Thursday. We're tracking the higher chance of rain being overnight into Thursday, but again, make sure you plan accordingly, especially be careful out on the roads. Something you want to plan out in advance. We have a couple days to prepare for that small system moving through, but as I was talking about earlier, high pressure being the cause for this really nice conditions that we've seen today and even tomorrow is going to allow the sun to really warm us up. Those high temperatures are looking really, really warm in the low 70s for the majority of the region. But as that low pressure system moves through overnight onto Thursday, expect those temperatures to begin to really drop, especially overnight into the upper 30s. On Thursday, expect that low temperature to be in 38 here in Athens. And for the majority of our region, it'll generally be in the upper 30s to lower 40s. Again, that's because of that cold front bringing not only just the rain, but the cooler temperatures as well. And the closer and closer we get to that freezing point, you might see a chance for a frost early on in the morning. But that's all the time I have for you guys today. Back to you, Joe.
Task Force 1 is composed of 84 members and was disposed to Florida's Gulf Coast and wake of Hurricane Ian. It spent the last 2 weeks assisting local...
The team, known as Ohio Task Force, is composed of 48 members and was dispatched to Florida's Gulf Coast in wake of Hurricane Ian. They spent the last 2 weeks assisting local officials by evacuating dozens of people and pets, searching for missing persons, and conducting over 4,500 house-by-house searches. They were officially demobilized this morning. Hurricane Ian left hundreds of thousands of people devastated, with many still waiting for help. But frustration is rising for many residents struggling to get back on their feet. Meredith Wood has a closer look at why residents are calling out the government's response to the disaster.
Definitely felt left out.
Mounting frustrations in some hard-hit Florida communities decimated by Hurricane Ian, as Governor Ron DeSantis praises the efforts by local, state, and federal officials.
Folks who are in difficult circumstances now because of the storm, just hang in there.
But more than 1 week since the storm slammed into the state, survivors are growing more and more frustrated with the government's response. from the local to the federal level.
I have no income and no car, and I went in to apply for FEMA and just found out that somebody's already applied a fraudulent claim using all my information and my social security number. So I have to call the fraud hotline now to see what's going on.
They're losing their patience, many facing long wait times on the phone or lines stretching for hours outside of FEMA disaster recovery centers, trying to get the help they so desperately need. Many are still in the dark or relying on generators. As of Saturday afternoon, according to poweroutage.us, more than 53,000 customers had no power statewide.
And you're just bypassing all of this.
And then there's the community of Harlem Heights, where some feel they're being completely overlooked in the federal response.
I don't have to live on Sanibel or Fort Myers to be one of the people that they care about, because to me that seems like that's all they care about at this point.
I'm Meredith Wood reporting.
Officials say the death toll from Hurricane Ian is at least 125 people, with 120 of them in Florida and 5 in North Carolina.
Coming up in sports, several Ohio athletes earned MAC honors. That story and more when Newswatch returns.
Next time from Antiques Roadshow, this vacation destination brought happy hugs.
Is that a big surprise? Oh my God!
And sweet stories.
My great-granduncle managed a hotel. Some of these paintings were gifts.
But could today's values still make these guests smile? Find out next time on Antiques Roadshow, Vintage Palm Springs, Hour 2.
Monday at 8 on WOUB.
We're losing ground.
On making Black America.
But at the same time, there is this explosion in Black institutional life.
The places.
Black women really were at the forefront in entrepreneurship.
And secret spaces.
Those queens were dressed to the nines.
That built Black life.
On the page, on the stage, we still make life swing.
Tuesday at 9 on WOUB.
We just went back to Africa.
On Finding Your Roots, musician Pharrell Williams.
I have to say I'm forever changed.
And actor-director Casey Lemons.
I feel very proud of my American heritage.
Slavery's impact.
Turn the page.
Impacts its descendants.
It's messing with everything that I represent.
Plus a DNA match.
Ready to meet your cousin? Yes.
Finding Your Roots.
Tuesday at 8 on WOUB.
An American Experience.
Jeans are the quintessential American garment.
They are universal and individual at the same time, but it's always the same story.
It's about the cowboys in the West. It's about Levi Strauss and the gold rush.
And yet so much of the story we tell about jeans is a myth.
Riveted, the history of jeans on American Experience.
Saturday at 9 on WOUB.
Ohio volleyball senior setter Parker Kwiatkowski and Olivia Margolis earned Mid-American Conference East Players of the Week for the contribution last week. Kwiatkowski tallied 88 assists this past week, averaging more than 12 assists per set, and Margolis recorded 30 kills and averaging more than 4 kills per set. Redshirt freshman running back Sai Bangara is the MAC East Offensive Player of the Week after his performance on Saturday against Akron. Bargara led the Bobcats to a 55-34 win against the Zips, managing to get 4 touchdowns, with 3 of these being on the ground. On his 16 attempts, he was able to acquire 90 yards. The redshirt freshman has acquired 5 touchdowns in 72 attempts for 356 yards this season, averaging 71.2 yards per game. The Bobcats took home the hardware on homecoming after defeating the Akron Zips with a score of 55-34. The Bobcats started the game off strong, leaving Akron scoreless in the first quarter and managing to get a 28-13 point lead by the end of the first half. In the third quarter, the Bobcats were able to gain 20 points while the Zips were only able to gain 7 to make the score 48-20. The Bobcats didn't stop there, scoring another touchdown in the fourth quarter, with Akron coming up short after only scoring 2.
Best 4 quarters as all 3 phases. I've said here before, playing with a lead, we've struggled with that, and I think we did that well Saturday.
The Bobcats will be heading to Western Michigan this Saturday to face the Broncos. Kickoff is set for 3:30 p.m. After defeating Akron, the Bobcats are one loss away from Kent State in the MAC East standings. The team is tied with Miami, Bowling Green, and Kent State for their conference record, with Ohio still maintaining a better overall record than Bowling Green and Kent State. The Ohio women's field hockey team took on the Ohio State Buckeyes yesterday at Pruitt Field. The Buckeyes started out strong, scoring 1 goal in the first quarter and 2 in the second. Thanks to a goal from Maddie Coombs and an assist by Magente Littenberg, the Bobcats were able to score in the second quarter to make the score 3-1. The Bobcats finished the game scoring 2 goals in the third quarter and fourth quarter to give them a win 7-win over the Bobcats. Ohio returns to Pruitt Field this Friday to take on Central Michigan. Ohio women's soccer team falls to Bowling Green Falcons on the road. Bowling Green managed to shut out Ohio yesterday with a score of 4-0, scoring 3 goals in the first half and 1 in the second. Ohio Aubrey Rio was able to get 3 shots and 1 shot on goal, in addition to Caslin Friege, who had 3 shots and 2 shots on goal. For Bowling Green, Lacey Bertha had 1 goal, and Maya Dean had 1 goal and 2 assists. Ohio will be heading to Central Michigan to play some MAC play this Thursday to face the Chippewas. Game time is set for 1 p.m. So Ohio's last 5 games are MAC conference plays. How do you think that these games are going to help them for the rest of the season and the tournament?
They're going to be really important, and 5 that the Bobcats absolutely need, as they've already lost 3 conference games. So if they want to get into that Final Four and get into the MAC tournament, these 5 are going to be really important that they get and win. And now let's throw it over to Aaron for a look at final weather.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, tonight it's going to get a little chilly, 41 degrees, but fear not, very clear skies. We're looking at a very nice couple of days. And starting with tomorrow, actually, that high temperature is going to creep up to the low 70s for the majority of our region, mostly sunny skies, and that low temperature, in fact, is going to remain on the warmer side, especially for recent overnight temperatures. But heading throughout the rest of the week, a cold front is expected to move in on Wednesday, bringing a chance for showers, and it's going to start a really cool temperature trend over the next couple of days after Wednesday. So again, we're seeing very nice temperatures from now until that cold front arrives, but after that happens, we can really expect to see those temperatures start to drop. Wednesday, high of 73 degrees, and it's going to drop to 64 degrees on Thursday. And by the time the weekend arrives, that cold front will have moved out towards the east, allowing that sun to really creep in a little bit, allowing us to warm up a little bit, in fact. We're hitting that high of 65 degrees on Saturday, mostly cloudy skies, and that's because we're tracking yet another low pressure system that will arrive later on the day on Saturday and into Sunday. So we're expected to have very nice conditions now, and it's not expected to last, unfortunately.
Monday, October 10th is World Mental Health Day. It raises awareness and mobilizes efforts to support mental health. In 2020, mental health-related visits to emergency rooms jumped among kids aged 12 to 17 years old, 31%. 9 out of 10 adults think that the U.S. this is a crisis, according to a CNN Kaiser Family Foundation poll. But even with these higher numbers, the stigma surrounding mental health has been slowly going away, and many issues are finally getting attention. Mental health involves someone's social, emotional, and psychological well-being, affecting feelings, thoughts, and actions of all the type of disorders. Statistics show just over 18% of the U.S. population suffers from anxiety. A great way to observe it is to discuss it openly with loved ones.
Absolutely. I can really see the importance of a day like this, especially since this is something that I feel is so not talked about nowadays, and to have something that sheds that light, even a little bit of light, is just really impactful, and I could see it going a long way for a lot of people.
Absolutely. And that's all the time we have left. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next.
Tired of spending so much time and money on vehicle maintenance and repairs? Make this October Cartober when you donate a car, truck, RV, or boat to our station. Plus, your donation is tax deductible. Donate today.
Support comes from Help Me Grow, providing